11 days ago, I went to Istanbul and got a hair transplant. Now, if you've watched any videos on my channel before, you will know what my hair looked like. I had long hair to cover the sides here, which were bald. I had basically a straight line of hair going along the front and then hair at the back and the sides. So getting a hair transplant is something I've wanted to do for about 2 years now, probably since I really started a YouTube channel about 2 years ago. I think when you start a YouTube channel and you watch yourself back on camera when you're editing, I think you become naturally a little bit more vain and a little bit more concerned about your appearance. So a hair transplant is something I've wanted to do for a while. So to research this, it does take a bit of time because especially in Istanbul, there are so many hair transplant clinics and a lot of them have really good reviews on websites like Trustpilot, but then you do a little bit more digging, you look at different Reddit accounts and you realize that a lot of people have had really negative experiences, but those negative reviews are not on Trustpilot. I ended up going with a company called Estee Nova. I looked at various reviews on different review websites and different people's opinions on Reddit, on YouTube, and social media in general. So the booking stage was very easy. I was talking to someone on WhatsApp and then they tell me which dates were available. They tell you the price. They tell you how many grafts you'll need. So I had to send pictures of what my hairline looked like. Then they sent me how much it would cost for the amount of grafts I would need. Apparently I needed 3,500 grafts, which is the individual follicles they take from the back of your head. And that in total costs £2,750. And that includes 2 nights in a really nice hotel with all the transfers to and from the airport and also the clinic included. The fact that the transport is included in this kind of all-inclusive deal is very helpful because going to Istanbul, it's quite crazy when you get to the airport. There are so many different transport options there meeting you. So the fact that someone is there picking you up, taking you straight to the hotel, and then you get the transport from the hotel to the clinic and also back to the airport as well. So you haven't got to worry about taxis, Ubers, or anything like that. And that is one stressful situation that is taken care of when you get to Istanbul. So the day of the operation, which was last Saturday, they picked me up from the airport in a nice taxi, took me to the hospital. It's basically a private hospital and it looks like the company I went with was renting a floor in the hospital. That's the best way I could describe it. So you start off by meeting with the doctor. What the doctor does is he looks at your hairline, he looks at your facial muscles and he works out the best type of hairline for you, and then he draws it with a felt tip pen over your forehead and then shows you what your hairline will look like after, and you have a conversation about that. And with my hairline, because of my facial muscles and my natural hairline is not dead straight, so sometimes when people go to get a hair transplant, they want a dead straight hairline, which might be really appealing, but as you get older, it's not going to look very natural. So we decided that the hairline he did just here, where it still goes back at the sides, was more natural, but we also put some more hair at the side. So I'll show you some pictures. I'll have some pictures coming up on the screen so you can see where the new hair was implanted. Out of the whole day, there was only one thing I didn't like, and that is getting your head shaved. I wasn't sure if they were going to shave my head at the start of the operation because I did ask them on the WhatsApp messages and they said it's 50-50, depends on what the doctor wants to do. So getting the head shaved was the most awkward bit for me because what happens is you're taken into a room where the hair transplant is actually done. It looks a little bit like a nice dental office. There's a dental chair, you know the chair you sit in when you get dental work that just reclines back. There's that in the middle of the room and it's a very clean, modern and sanitary room. But first of all, you're sat on a chair and then they shave your head. But the issue I didn't like is in the room at the moment is like 5 other people, including a photographer, the doctor and 2 or 3 nurses. And so you're just sort of sat there getting your head shaved and it does feel a little bit uncomfortable. I would have appreciated that to have been done in a nicer way, a more relaxing way. So you get your head shaved and then you get your pictures taken, which I understand because they want to post progress pictures on social media. No problem with that at all, but the pictures seem to be very important to them and you will get pictures taken a lot. So once the pictures are taken, you lay on the sort of dental chair, you lay face down, and this is where they start to take the hair from the back of your head. Before you get the hair taken from the back of your head, you have 5 anesthetic injections starting at the side, going all the way down the bottom near your neck and across to the other side. Now the anesthetic is brilliant because you just cannot feel anything, and it also makes you quite relaxed and drowsy as well. So getting the hair taken from the back of the head, I think think it took about 2 hours, and you literally just lay there. You lay on your side a little bit, then they turn you over to your front, and then you go over to the other side. And I don't know what the machine is, but it sounded almost like a razor, and it's taking the hair from the back of your head. But like I said, you cannot feel anything at all. There are basically 3 stages of the whole operation. There's the first, the extracting of the hair from the back of your head, which is called the donor area. So once that's done, that takes about 2 hours, and then the doctor comes in. So the doctor who did the original hairline and who you had the consultation with at the start, he comes in and he does, with a very small knife, he does the incisions in your head. So wherever this new hair is going to go, he does the incisions. He does not do the extraction of the hair. That is done by nurses. So the doctor did the incisions all around my head, so starting at the side here, going all the way up my forehead, wherever there was not any hair, he did all these incisions here. That took around 90 minutes to 2 hours, and before this you are given again 5 more anesthetic injections, but this time in the front of your head. So in total 10 anesthetic injections, and like during this stage you cannot feel anything. I couldn't even feel him touching my head with the knife. But it's very easy. You're just laying there and you're just daydreaming basically. I kind of felt like I was in and out of sleep at the time because the anesthetic injections make you very relaxed and very drowsy. So once the doctor does the incisions in your head, then the 2 nurses come in who did the extractions on the back of the head, the donor area. They come back in and then they put the hair that they extracted into the holes that the doctor has made. So the whole process of the nurses putting the hairs back into the holes, that took just under 3 hours. So in total, it's about 7 hours of laying on the kind of operating table. And during that time, you just have to keep yourself occupied. I was just daydreaming, thinking about different things. Yeah, there's some music on in the background as well, but because of the anesthetic, you just feel very relaxed and you're happy just to lay there and do nothing. So once the operation is done, you're all bandaged up, and then they go and give you some food. You go into a separate room just by yourself, and that's where you can just gather your thoughts and you just eat on your own, which is quite nice. And one thing you need to do is you need to eat breakfast before, because you do not get any food during the operation. You do get given an IV drip during the process when they put the hair back in. So you're laying on your front and you've got an IV drip in your arm, which just keeps you hydrated, but you do not get any food between the start of the operation and the end. So about 7 hours of not eating, but you get given food straight away after the operation, and then they make sure you get back to the hotel safely, and they organise all the transport for that. So the following few days is when the recovery starts, and I had a bit of pain on the first night. So about 2 hours after I got back to the hotel, the donor area, so the back of the head, started hurting. I think it depends on your metabolism and how young you are. It depends on how long the anesthetic wears off, how long your body gets rid of the anesthetic, and the water they put in your head that actually alleviates the pain. I think it depends on how quick your metabolism is. The pain can come in quite quickly. So I had pain on the first couple of hours when I got back, but I took some paracetamol, and after a little while it was absolutely fine. Now most people go home the next day from Istanbul. Most people go there for like 2 days, then they get the transport back to the airport and go home. But I went with my girlfriend and she wanted to walk around Istanbul, do some sightseeing, so we stayed on for a further 2 days. And walking around Istanbul, it was fine. You just have to be careful not to knock your head, be very careful with the sunlight. The recovery stage is slowly coming to an end now. Like I said, we're on day 11, and after washing my hair every day, the scabs at the top are slowly going away. Today is the best day of how it looks. Now, once I got back home, you do have some pain in the donor area. That's what I noticed, especially over the last few days, which is kind of expected, really. I mean, the whole roots of your hair have been taken out, they've been removed. But I was just taking ibuprofen, and I did that for about 3 days, and that really helped. Also, aloe vera gel, because the roots and the nerves on the back of your head are very inflamed, and your head can feel quite warm. It almost feels like sunburn. So aloe vera gel is really good. I bought like a 99% aloe vera gel from the pharmacy. That helps a lot because you put that on the back of your head. It's very cooling and really helps to take away the pain. A few days after coming back from Istanbul is where the scabs on the top of your head here, this is where the hair was implanted, they really dry up and it becomes a little bit, not itchy, but you just know it's there. It feels quite tight, and all you want to do is with your hands just rub it like this. But of course you cannot touch it and you have to leave it. You have to gently wash your hair every day with some special shampoo and a moisturizing foam that the hospital gave me. So I do that every day, and today the scabs at the top are really starting to come off, and it's starting to look a lot more normal. Now, sleeping positions, you are supposed to sleep with a neck pillow, which they give you, and you're supposed to sleep on your front with your head elevated. Now, I did this for about a week and it worked fine, but after a while you do start to get really fed up with this, especially if you sleep on your side naturally like I do. So I worked out a position where I slept half on my side with my face pointing up with the neck pillow. It's actually quite comfortable, although it sounds like you're in a twisted position, but that works really well for me. And once these scabs are gone completely, from tomorrow I can start sleeping normally, which is great. So what will happen now apparently is the new hair, all the new hair at the sides here, is going to fall out in the next few weeks, and you'll be left basically with the original hairline. So what happens is it will fall out, and then hopefully within the next few months it will start to grow. So you won't see a full result between 12 and 18 months, so it is quite a long process. But hopefully this time next year it'll all be worth it. Now, some questions I was thinking about that I could answer to save you asking them in the comments. So was there any pain during the procedure? No, you don't feel anything. I had some pain after the operation on the back of my head, and then when I got home I had some sort of sunburn pain in the donor area, and that was it really. Some ibuprofen sorted that out, and I've had absolutely no pain where the hair was transplanted. Am I glad I did it? Yes, absolutely. I do wish I did it sooner, to be honest, because, you know, I could have done it last year and now I could have been over the recovery stage and had a full head of hair again. So I'm really glad I did it. I just wish I did it sooner. So how long is the actual recovery? So there are some things like going to the gym you can't do for a while, and that's a big thing for me. I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym, lift weights, and I love running. So that's something I do every day, and that's been really hard to deal with over the last week, not doing any exercise at all. The hospital said I'm not allowed to do any exercise for around 30 days. However, I think that is on the far end of the scale about, you know, they're trying to be extra cautious. I think after 3 weeks, I'll be fine to go back to the gym again. And the last question, do you have to stop anything before? Yes, you can't drink for about a week before, and caffeine, you need to stop drinking, I think 40 hours before the operation, and also alcohol as well. They recommend not drinking for another 30 days after, or actually it might be 2 weeks after, but because of just recovery, your body's recovering, it's probably not best to drink much alcohol. I had a beer last night just in the late afternoon. It was a lovely sunny day. That kind of thing is fine. I think just going out partying and getting really drunk, I think is not a great idea when your body is recovering. So hopefully this video really helped you if you're looking to go to Istanbul to get a hair transplant. If there are any questions that you want to ask, just leave them in the comments and I'll answer all questions related to this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.